Your monthly subscription box from postflybox.com includes all the materials needed to tie a dozen flies, along with some extra goodies. Many fly fishermen consider the Rainbow Warrior their go-to pattern throughout much of the year. Its lifelike profile, along with its flashiness, seem to be a combination trout simply can't resist. Begin by inserting the hook point of one of the hooks into the small hole on one of the silver beads. It can be a little hard to distinguish the small hole on the bead from the large one, but do your best. After slipping the bead onto the hook, get the assembly firmly secured in the jaws of your tying vise. Solder wire is used to add some weight to the fly and to help stabilize the bead. Get hold of the bitter end and start making touching wraps with the wire up the hook shank. After 5 or 6 turns, helicopter the wire to break it off close. Leave a little space between the wire and the back edge of the bead. Apply just the smallest amount of superglue to the bare hook shank. Then slide the wraps forward into the back of the bead and hold them there for a few seconds. Once the adhesive is set, you can easily tuck in the wire tail and even up the wraps. Load a bobbin with a spool of red unithread. Get the thread started on the hook shank at the back edge of the wire. After taking a few wraps rearward, snip off the excess tag. Continue taking thread wraps over the wire wraps to help lock them in place and create a little ramp down to the hook shank. End with your thread hanging at about the hook point. For the tail, pull 8 to 10 brown hackle fibers down perpendicular to the stem and pull the stem away to strip them free. Do your best to keep the tips aligned in the process. Measure to form a tail a little less than a hook gap in length, keeping in mind that the fibers will be bound down well into the hook bend. Take thread wraps to bind the hackle fibers to the top of the hook shank. Keep wrapping until your thread hangs a little ways behind the hook barb. Then wrap forward to the back edge of the wire wraps and snip the excess butt ends of the hackle fibers off close. A 6-inch length of the thinner silver wire is enough to make numerous flies. Place one end against the near side of the hook and take thread wraps to secure it. As you wrap rearward, allow the wraps to push the wire to the far side. Go all the way down to the base of the tail. Then once again, take thread wraps forward to the back edge of the wire wraps. Get hold of a strand of flashaboo and lay one end against the near side of the hook, then take thread wraps to secure it, all the way back to the base of the tail. This time, wind your tying thread all the way up to the back edge of the bead. Start making slightly overlapping wraps up the hook shank with the flashaboo, doing your best to create a nice smooth body on the fly. When you reach the back edge of the bead, use your tying thread to secure the flashaboo, then snip the excess off close. Pick up your favorite hackle pliers and use them to get hold of the silver wire. Start making open spiral wraps with it over top of the flashaboo to rib and segment the fly. 7 or 8 turns usually looks pretty good. At the back edge of the bead, anchor the wire with tight wraps of tying thread, then helicopter the wire to break it off close. Pull just a small amount of rainbow dubbing free from the packet and use it to produce a slender, inch-long noodle on your tying thread. Then take wraps with the noodle to build up a colorful, kind of unruly thorax on the fly. End with bare tying thread at the back edge of the bead. Pick up your whip finish tool and use it to do a 4 or 5 turn whip finish, seat the knot well, and snip your tying thread free. A drop of head cement applied to the thread wraps will ensure they don't come unraveled and increase the fly's durability. And that's the Rainbow Warrior. It should be a staple in every fly angler's fly box.